Hey, hello everybody, and welcome to me here on Facebook Live. And sitting in the car, just left Kroger. Of course, Kroger is it's crazy in there. Walked up there, no baskets. Every weekend we get this. I'm wondering if the grocery stores are manipulating the weather every weekend to give forecasts that put us in a panic mode to come and really buy a lot of groceries. And a lot of times we buy stuff we don't really need, but we want to have just in case we're snowed in or we lose electricity or something like that. So in case we can't cook, we want to have stuff that we can feed ourselves with without cooking. But anyway, you know how it is when it's predicted snow. And usually when you get that second prediction, I think we might get a little bit more, but I'm no weatherman. It could pass over us like it did last time, but sometimes the second time we usually get some snow. I don't know if it'll be as significant as they're saying, but we're probably going to get something. But anyway, I didn't come on for that. I came on, it's just what a crazy day. Don Lemon being arrested along with three other, not all of them are journalists. Some of them, one of them is running for office in Minnesota, and another one is something else I can't recall. But at least two of them were journalists, and all of them were black, but arrested for the church incidents. The protest that was going on in there, and Don gets arrested, and his name is really out there because he's the more prominent person. If you want to make a point, really put somebody out there that everybody knows, and you're making a point or you're trying to strike fear in the rest of the people that have independent journalism, but to say that he was a part of the protesters in there that interrupted the church. He just went in there reporting what was going on. And like nowadays, everybody has a cell phone, and certain professional reporters, we are glad they are certain places to give us the real story. A lot of times things go on and we have to listen or accept the reports that are given by the officials, just like the reports that were given by the officials that we saw with our own eyes what went down, but they still told us a different story. So imagine if it was no filming of those incidents that they told us that we saw that was completely different from what they said. We would have to take what they said. But anyway, now they have arrested him and charges have been unsealed. And I guess when I get home, I'll take a look at them and see what they are. I know that they're going to be ridiculous. As far as it's probably going to get thrown out of court once it gets to that point. All they wanted to do was make that point and make that arrest and be able to put pictures on social media of Don as being arrested, or making whatever they do. And these things come officially from the White House, which is like, you would think it's coming officially from Douglas Park Elementary. And no offense to the kids at Douglas Park Elementary. I know even they know better than that. But, it just puts you on that elementary type thinking that official information or comes out of the White House, like it does, and you see it for yourself. It looks like it's coming from the seriousness, the lack of seriousness of it, coming from an official White House where you expect at least some integrity or some decency coming from there, or just straight reporting. But anyway, this is where we are, and they'll probably be going after, they have to go after the independents now. They're just trying to shut up everything. They started with the schools and Yale, want to shut up everybody, the law firms and all these people that have bent in the past. Y'all need to stop bending, because people are being sacrificed, in order to keep you from doing what you probably would do. and just like us doing, what we do here, everybody that comes on that has a social media page that comes on live and talks, gives their opinion, the likelihood of them coming after us is small unless we blew up and a lot of people were paying attention. Then they will come after us. But make sure that if you've been talking and you've been saying certain things and giving your opinions that are against the grain of what they are trying to put out, keep on doing it. Keep on doing it, because they're coming after the most prominent people, the people with the most eyes on what they're doing or what they're saying. And, the only way we can continue, not the only way, but because I believe Don is going to continue to do what he does, and any other independent journalists are going to continue to do what they do, because most of them were involved in the mainstream media, and now they've been freed, and it's so inviting for them to be able to speak their mind, things that they wanted to say back in the day when they were employed by the mainstream media, that they can say now. And it's in the interest of just sharing the right information, and you kind of can depend on it, because just take a look at what we are seeing and then what they're telling us. Now, if you don't think that that's the way they've been doing it all along, something is wrong with you. You've been missing out on reality as well. They've been doing this the whole time, telling you, controlling the narrative, and with no proof, but never has it been so much proof on the other side, as far as people taking pictures, starting way back with George Floyd. If they hadn't been filmed, you know what would have happened there. It would have been, the narrative would have been controlled by those in charge, those elected, the police at that time. And now these guys making the police look like angels. And I never did believe generally as a whole that all police were bad. It was just some that were in there that were making a bad name for the ones that were really trying to do their job with integrity. And, we have to realize they're all human, but these guys are making the police look like, our savior in some cases. But even their hands are tied, because the big hand of the federal guys are coming down, because they believe they have power over everything below them, which indeed, in many cases, they don't have the power over a lot of states that they proclaim to have. But they're doing it anyway, because nobody is stopping them right now. So, man, keep on talking against. I see John Gann's cuz up here. Keep on doing your commentaries and how you see things, and you see them with realistic eyes, just like the rest of us. And we just have to keep on talking, and just paying attention to what's really happening. And before I go off, I just have to make this point here. When you become a certain age, I talk about age sometimes, because one thing, I'm blessed to be in my 70s, 71 now. And, and another thing is always accepting, when you think you have accepted, getting older, and you don't realize that how much older you look to other people, because you've been looking at yourself in the mirror all the time. You don't look like a 21-year-old, but that, you look a little older. But what the reality of it, like the title of this live is, the reality of it is when people start treating you like you used to treat older people. with just the sight of that person, even if that person wasn't bent over and looked like they were doing all right, you got that automatic respect. And people want to give you their basket if there's no baskets left, and I appreciate that. But it takes some getting used to realize that now I'm in that position, as an older guy. I don't use old because that's not a word I like to use in my vocabulary, especially when I'm describing myself. Older. We all are older. Each day we wake up, we are a little older. Some of us are older than others. But anyway, I just have to continue to thank God for being here, and as well as accept the fact that people see me in a different light than the way I perceive myself, even though I know I'm older and look older and move a little slower. But even though I think I'm moving faster, but if someone takes a video of me, I probably will notice that I am moving a little slower, even though in my mind I'm moving just like I was when I was in my 60s. Ain't there something saying in your 60s you were younger, and that's still older to a lot of people. But anyway, God bless all the people that are older, and the wisdom that we carry with us, and the quest still for knowledge. We don't give up on learning things, new things, and learning new ways to do things. Like with this technology, I'm still learning how to deal with this. Every time I seem like I have it down pat, something new comes out, the AI comes out, and then I have to kind of start all over again with everything that I've gotten used to. Now it has a AI component to either help me improve or, in some cases make me look younger. Now, I don't do that because I don't want to fool myself or anybody else that I'm actually, and then they see me in person and say, ooh, he's aged since I saw him yesterday. So anyway, but be blessed and count your blessings if you're still here at an advanced age, and just don't sweat the small stuff that we used to sweat when we were younger. It's just not worth it anymore to sweat the small stuff because we've seen more than what we'll probably see in the future. Well, I take that back because we're seeing some crazy things now. But most of the things that we're seeing, if you've been around long enough, we saw it at a younger age or even at an adult age. We're just seeing history repeat itself, where we have a habit of not learning from our history, no matter how often that people that well-versed in history try to remind us to listen and watch and pay attention to our history, because it will repeat, and we need to be prepared to not go down that same road. But here we are, and being right in the middle of making America great again, like they said. And now we knew, I always knew what they meant, but now a lot of other people know what that meant, making America great again. That's taking us back to a time when we thought we were past that. But here we are, being our First Amendment rights are being challenged, the right to carry. And just think about this. All the things that they are coming after people for now was a part of their campaign, as far as gun carry rights and having a right to carry, and no matter where you are. And now everything, all the people that are following those rules that they used to campaign on, if it's not in line with how they feel, now it's a problem. It's a problem. The guy they killed, it was a problem for him having a real license to carry, and which they used to always advocate. And as far as the First Amendment rights, they, and they're just turning all that stuff, as long as it's not them, they're turning all that around on people that they dislike. And you got a man in charge that, just never forgets anything, like a bad elephant. He doesn't forget any of the bad things that ever happened to him that he probably caused, that he was responsible for, people coming after him because of his actions. And he just never can forget that. He hadn't been right since Obama fried him at that event that they were at. I mean, Obama came down on him, and he hasn't been right since. Well, he wasn't right before that, but that really got his goat. And so everybody who's against him or has done anything or said anything against him that a lot of people probably heard, he's coming after them. And black women, he's coming after them. Just look, open your eyes and see who is being affected by his actions. Just take a look and look at the states that are being affected. You know, it's like none of the red states are doing anything wrong. Open your eyes, people. And even you people that kind of feel that way, not trying to change your mind, because most of you are totally lost in the soup and can't stroke your way out of it, because the soup tastes good to you and you just don't want to stop drinking it. Or Kool-Aid, as you say, you don't want to stop drinking the Kool-Aid because it's good, it's real sweet, and you just want to stay there, even if it's against your own interests. People, we are at a point where we can't let them, and you see what they're doing. They're trying to push us to the point where we're going to do something real crazy. We're going to shoot one of those government police force people, and then they got us. Then they're going to come in there and declare martial law and come in. They're waiting for us to not turn the other cheek, but to clap back on them and give them a reason to do what they really want to do. Just take over the cities by martial law. And Madison Downs, how do you feel about the new governor and the bills being proposed? Higher taxes on everything. Well, Madison, yep, I understand. I appreciate you watching, and I appreciate you too, Madison. You kind of have, well, you're not kind of, you have different views than I do, and we will have that conversation on one of our shows. You know, I'm open to that. And I don't agree with a lot of what you say on your post, but, you know, it doesn't mean I have to dislike you. You just have a real, very, very different take on the way I see things. And so the question you asking me now, let's talk about that in the next week or two, about coming on maybe the Slim Nation one-on-one and have a conversation about that. You know, we talked about it before. It didn't happen, but I think it's best to do the one-on-one with you as what we were trying to do with the Portsmouth Coffee Talk, which might have been, you know, more of a panel discussion and might have been a little more difficult. But a one-on-one between me and you, brother, probably will be the best way in order for us to communicate and disagree, or we might agree on some things, I don't know. But I know you don't agree with everything I say, because I've seen your comments, and that's fine. That's fine. You know, just like I believe in the First Amendment. That's why it's so crazy what's going on with the First Amendment now. And you might even see that different. But I promise I will get in touch with you in the next week or two, and we'll figure out what's a good day for us to come on, and I can promote it and people can come on, because you're probably a lot more knowledgeable than me. So all I can do is just tell you how I feel about things, and you can tell me how you feel. I think you come with receipts, I think. So I'll be interested to see what kind of receipts you'll bring, and I'll try to do my research to back up the way I feel. So let's do it. It sounds good. All right. What's up, Ice? How you doing? Ice, I'm speaking to Ice, one of my VUU schoolmates. It's been 50 years since we were freshmen at VUU, Ice. So, you know, how time flies. And sad to lose one of our brothers, but Iran, but you know, life is what it is. We'll miss him. But anyway, I talked longer than I wanted to in the car. Sometimes I have some of my best kind of rants when I'm in the car coming from the grocery store, and then I had to throw that thing in about the old thing. And if you all missed it, I just talked about how reality sets in when you realize how other people perceive you, when you still think, well, you realize how old you are. I'm in my 70s, but other people will remind you that you're in your 70s, not being unpolite, but being even more polite because they feel like you deserve it. And I think that's good, showing respect for someone that's been around for a long time. And that's a good thing. That's what I used to do. And now I'm in that position where people are doing that for me. And I appreciate that. Yeah, Madison, yeah, we all trying to get through this mess together, and it's coming from different ways. And like I said, we'll talk about it because I think the more people talk that have different opinions on certain subjects, especially political, the more they talk, the more they understand why that person feels that way. Still maybe not agreeing totally, but where would we be without having conversations with people that we don't agree with? It's just like it's drawing that line in the middle of the road and nobody ever crossing it, and that's not always a good thing. So anyway, what's up, Michael Ellis? I saw you the other day. I tried to get to you just to say hello, put my eyes on you, but you got away from me. And it was a funeral, so you know how that goes. You see a lot of people at funerals, although we see each other a little bit more than that. But Michael Ellis, the class of 1971 of IC Norcom, pretty good class. Of course, mine was 1972, pretty good class as well. But anyway, all the classes at Norcom were great. How about that? Covered all my bases on that one. All right, everybody, thanks a lot. This is Slim Overton. Just wanted to pop up here live and have a conversation with you, and I'll see you again soon. And while I'm here, hey, Jensen Baker, thanks for being a part of our show the other night, our take on it with Slim and Shona. And while I'm here, before I leave, make sure that you watch the show, one of our shows every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. It's called Our Take on It, with featuring Slim and Shona from Portsmouth to ATL. And because Jensen is watching, normally we say from P-Town to ATL, and he gave his opinion how he feels about using the word P-Town, because a lot of people used to say it meant Pistol Town instead of Portsmouth or Positive. But anyway, when you get a chance, watch every Tuesday night with Slim and Shona. Our Take on It with Slim and Shona. And we have a lot of guests up there covering various subjects. Shona and I graduated in 1972 at IC Norcom and decided to come together and just do a little something where we have a little fun, and also we have talk about some medical issues and some things. And this Tuesday, I believe, we're coming up talking about the increasingly involvement of grandparents. It used to be when you became I understand. Thanks, Jensen. We didn't take offense to that, at all. It's just more I respected your opinion than anything else. It used to be when you become a grandparent, all you are supposed to do is maybe fill in every once in a while, maybe pick the grandkids up when the parents couldn't. But now, increasingly enough, for many reasons, grandparents are taking on that full-time responsibility of raising their children's children. So we're going to do a show on that this Tuesday on Our Take on It, featuring Slim and Shona, about grandparenting and the role that grandparents are playing now more increasingly than it has been before. We always had a role as grandparents, but now, it hadn't always been full time, and a lot of times it's full time, and sometimes it can't be helped because of incarceration, because of illness, because of abandonment, for many reasons. So we're going to have a conversation about that with someone who's serving in that role. Has taken over now six, because six of her grandkids on a full-time role. So make sure you show up next Tuesday, and that's February 3rd at 7 p.m. This will be an interesting show. And one thing about it, it's live. You can make your comments during that show. If you have any questions to our guests, you can also do that. And don't forget, every once in a while we'll be popping up with the Slim Nation one-on-ones experience. If you were on here, you heard me talking to one of the participants, and making sure that we're going to get together and have a conversation. He is, I believe I can call him, his name is Madison Downs. I know he's a Republican. I believe I can call him a Trump supporter, or we'll find that out if he's still that. And so we're going to schedule a one-on-ones with him on the one-on-ones Slim Nation one-on-ones experience with Madison Downs and myself, and just have a conversation, because I don't think we agree on too much politically, but it's probably a whole lot of things as far as in life that we do agree on. And some people are so one-dimensional sometimes. If someone doesn't agree with you politically, you just dismiss that person altogether, and that's not always a good thing to do. In some cases it might be. It depends on the individual, but you don't know that until you have that conversation. All right, everybody, take care, and VUU for life. Ice, I appreciate you, and you take care. And I might be up in Richmond for the Founders Day next Friday. I'll let you know if I'm coming for sure. Next Friday I should be up to Richmond at the Virginia Union for Founders Day. Haven't been to a Founders Day in a long time, and have an opportunity to ride with one of my Hampton Roads alumni buddies. And so we're going to hope to see you there if you are available for that. Anyway. All right, take care, everybody. We'll see you next time. And as always, make sure you be aware, be informed, and most of all, be involved, especially during these days. Be involved in any way you can. You know, if it's through this kind of medium, or if it's getting out there, putting boots on the ground, whatever your health and your physicality allows you to do. If you can't get out there, get behind that mic and talk it up. And also, while you're talking it up, try to offer some solutions. We can't be all talk and point out what's going on that many people are seeing anyway without offering some kind of solutions. All right, everybody done tuned off, so that means I've been here too long. Take care. We'll see you next time.